Hi, I'm Adela from Pretoria in South Africa. This is the Yarn Creations Podcast, episode number 6, and it's all about my knitting and crochet adventures. I'm Yarn Creations is my Facebook page. On Instagram, I'm My Yarn Creations. And you can find me on Ravelry as Adela YC. All the info is also in my About tab on my channel. As I said, this is a podcast about knitting and crochet, so that is what I will be talking about. Not a lot about my personal life, because I'm not sure that there's anything interesting to share. But so I will mostly stick to my hobby, and which I enjoy a lot, and of which I've got a passion. I've got a passion for hand-dyed yarns and working with natural yarns and hand-dyed yarns. If you're a returning viewer, welcome. And if you are watching this podcast for the first time, welcome to you, and I hope that you will like what you see and that you will then subscribe to my channel, so that you can and hit the notification little bell, so that you will be notified when I post a new episode. I try to do it, say, once in every 2-3 weeks. Depending on if I think or feel that I have enough to show and to talk about. I've got a few show notes. I'm not very good with show notes and having a very organized podcast. I just talk what is next to me and what I can get my hands on first. What you see behind me is my Quicksand cardi, which I finished. That is my second. My first was a sweater that I knitted, my first wearable. Since I've started knitting again, I took up knitting again about 1.5 years ago. And in this year, I decided that I really want to try and knit myself some cardigans. Let me just see if I can. There, you can see it now, maybe a little bit better. I know the light is not that good. I've got more pictures on my Facebook page and on Instagram, and all the modifications I did on my Quicksand cardi is on my Ravelry page, because as I've said before, I've got a long torso. I always have to add some rows, and I've got long arms as well, so I always have to make the arms, knit more rows on the arms. And because I'm a size bigger, how can I say, I'm in between a 34 and a 36, and around my waist or my bottom, I'm a size 36, 38. So most of the patterns I have to modify a little bit to fit me properly. And what I have to do is do some increases, or in this case I had to left out some decreases. That was supposed to happen down the sides. It's got a very nice construction. I love the whole construction of the Quicksand cardi. The pattern is by Heidi Kirmaier, and it's very smooth and plain design, and I think that is very timeless and something that you can always wear. I will always, I will even in summer when there's a cool evening, I will be able to use it. I used Stella Fibreworks in a worsted weight. At the end, I had 8 skeins, but at the end I only used 6 skeins. And one of the other patterns that I struggled to find a pattern that because I couldn't, there wasn't a way that I can find more of these skeins because I bought them all together. And it's difficult when you're working with hand-dyed yarns, as you well know, you can't just go to a shop and buy more. So I had to make sure that I find a pattern that the yarn will be enough for. So at the end, I only used 6 skeins and I've got 2 left of the 8 skeins. But I think at the end that is better than not having enough yarn for a cardigan that you're knitting. I'm very happy with it, and as I say, I think I will get a lot of wear out of it. So that is my Quicksand cardi by Heidi Kirmaier. The second item that I've finished is something I wanted to do this year. The one thing was knit myself some sweaters and cardigans, and the second thing that I wanted to do was do stranded knitting or color work, and because there's so many beautiful cardigans and sweaters out there that's got color work in them. And then I also wanted to learn brioche. At the previous episode, I forgot to say that the third thing was that I wanted to try stranded color work. So I'm very excited. I'm also going with a friend next weekend to the Miss Lamotte workshop that Be Inspired is organizing in the Midlands, Natal Midlands. So I will also then meet Karen from Miss Lamotte for the first time, and she is giving a workshop the whole Saturday on stranded color work and steeking as well. And I haven't done any steeking, so that will be a new experience for me as well. So that maybe somewhere in the future I will be able to knit a cardigan in the round and then steek it in the front. I always admire people who can do that, and it's something that I would really like to try at some stage. But I'm still very new at color work. So just to be not be a total novice, and just to so that I can just understand what Karen is going to teach us or present at the workshop, I made a small item with only 2 colors. It's the Ombra Cowl, and the pattern is by let me see her name. It's a little bit of a difficult, I'm not sure if I will pronounce it correctly. It's Judit Hummel. It's the Ombra Cowl. I will, like I always do, I give all the names of the patterns and the designers down below, so that you can always go and just look it up on Ravelry. So this is the Ombra Cowl. And as you can see, I've got one little color work mistake, and I'm sure that you will be able to see it. I'm not going to point it out directly, but I know that I think in Persian carpets there's also a mistake in every Persian carpet as well, so I'm not that worried, and if you wear it, I'm not sure if anybody will even notice it. I used two 50-gram balls of a local yarn, commercialized yarn, but it's a 100% superwash merino. It's from African Expressions and it's called Harmony. This cowl is perfect because you only need 50 gram of each, and it is just enough to complete the cowl. I did add a few extra stitches, so I've casted on 100 stitches where the pattern calls for I think 88 stitches, because I think the African Expressions Harmony is not as thick as the yarn that is prescribed in the pattern. But I've soaked it and blocked it a little bit, and it's very soft. And I think for first time color work, that is not too bad. There is still a lot that I have to learn and to get the hang of, and I don't think my tension is 100% perfect, but I like doing it a lot. I really like doing it, so I can see a lot of that. I will definitely do some stranded color work in the future, more of it. This is the floats in the inside. I tried in the first, I always thought that if I do color work, I will catch my floats. And I tried it only in the first row, and then I realized that that's not for me. I was actually very surprised because I really thought that that is how I'm going to do stranded color work. I'm really going to catch my floats every second stitch. And it doesn't look nice, and the moment well, in my case, that's how it is. If I catch my floats, it is more visible in the front, on the right side, than when I don't catch my floats. So I will definitely catch it when there's a lot of stitches, like say if it has to go, the float has to go over say 8 or 10 stitches, I will definitely have to catch it. But otherwise I think I will just learn to do this properly. I like the feeling of the floats in the inside. It's like almost like a double material, so it's very nice and warm, and it's very soft. I know that most people who do a lot of color work say that you should go one needle size up when doing color work. I used the needle size that was called for in the pattern, but I think my yarn wasn't the same weight. My yarn is a little bit thinner than the yarn that is called for in the pattern, so maybe that's then where the difference came in. But the combination of the 5mm knitting needles and this African Expressions Harmony worked out quite well. I can definitely see that I will make more of these cowls in other colors, because I think I think this pattern, like it is here, will also make a lovely mitten. I'm actually very I love all the color work mittens that I see. I know there's not a lot of opportunity to wear that kind of mittens like the Norwegian mittens in our country, but I still want to knit them, and I'm sure I'm going to knit some of them. I already bought some patterns from Ali of Scandian Knits. So when I'm more confident in color work, I'm definitely going to do some of those mittens. They are so pretty. I can't wait to knit some of them. And I think that might also be a good practice in color work, because it's not such a large item to make. So this is the Ombra Cowl. Then the third finished object I've got is my Brioche Twister cowl that I've showed you last time. That is also the third thing that I wanted to try this year was brioche. As I said before, I did a cowl in the round that I enjoyed very much. And then this is my first entry into knitting two-color brioche flat. I enjoyed it. I'm still not sure if my tension is 100% correct. But I tried, this is a double knit, yes, double knit worsted merino, hand-dyed merino from One of a Kind yarns, and I did it with a 4mm knitting needle. I tried it with a 3.75, and I didn't enjoyed it so much. For me, it's very important the process of knitting and the combination of the yarn and the needle or the crochet hook is very important to me. I have to enjoy the process of the knitting or the crochet project, and so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I will try it again in the 3.75 and see. It's not bad, but what bothers me, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that, when you do an increase, I've got a little hole, and I'm not sure if that hole is too big or if it's supposed to be like that. I'm not sure, but it's not bad, and I really enjoyed knitting this. I enjoy the process of the decreases and increases that creates the pattern. It was a long, I made it quite longer than the pattern called for, because I wanted to be able to wrap it around my neck. I love the feeling of this fabric that was created with this merino. It's very soft and really comfortable to wear. I've posted lots of pictures on Instagram and on my Facebook page as well, where I draped it around the mannequin. And so I'm happy with the length of the scarf. It's very, as you can see, it's very long. It goes on and on and on. And then you've got the pattern again. Here you can also see the holes. I think that's something that just needs some more practice, I suppose. I've tried very hard to when I do my increases to do it as neatly as possible. So I suppose if you have use a smaller needle, the stitches will look a little bit neater still. So I will just have to practice that some more. So that is all my finished projects. That's a Brioche Twister scarf by EastLondonKnit, sorry. So that is really, I know that when you subscribe to Renee's newsletter from EastLondonKnit, she sends you a coupon code for this Brioche Twister scarf. And it's a nice project to start with when you want to learn brioche. The pattern is well written, and I even understand the diagrams, the symbols. I even understand that. So I think it's a good intro into doing brioche knitting. Sorry if I say a lot. I realize that I'm saying that a lot, but I think it's because I'm thinking of how to say this properly in English, because my home language is Afrikaans, so I'm not that fluent in English, and I'm always searching for the right words to say or to use. One other thing I'm still busy with, and I know you've if you are a subscriber from the first episode and you've watched from the first episode, you must be tired of my log cabin blanket by now, but I promise I'm on the verge of finishing it. I'm very determined to finish it soon. I've shown the blanket quite a few times before. Two of the panels are already, so I've 6 of the squares are all attached to each other. So this is 6 of the squares that I've attached, and now I've only got 3 more squares that I have to make. I've completed 2 of the 3 squares, so I'm busy with the last square, and then I can join those 3 squares, join them to each other, and then I can join it to this, and then the blankets is almost complete. I'm still not sure if I want to do something with on the edge. I've thought of doing a I-cord border around the whole blanket, but I'm not sure if I'm up to that. That will be quite a lot of work, I think. I will see. I will see when I get there, when I've joined those 3 squares. Here's one of the squares that I've finished. Just the moe square in the middle, but if I steam it, it will be fine. So I'm using moe in some of the logs. I did explain before, but I can just maybe for new viewers just quickly show what I'm doing and what I'm using. I'm mostly using merino lace, hand-dyed merino lace, and they are all from one-of-a-kind yarns. Here's an example of 3 of the colors. In some of the logs, I'm only using 3 strands of the merino lace together. And in some of the logs, like this one for example, I'm using 2 strands of the merino lace and 1 strand of mohair. The mohair is also from African Expressions. It's called Hope. I think there's a little bit of polyamide in it. It's kid mohair and a little bit of polyamide. And it's also a lace. Get it to show. So that is what I'm using together with the merino lace. And then in some of the logs, I'm alternating when I'm doing 3 strands of merino lace, I'm alternating the 3 rows of merino lace with a strand of also from One of a Kind yarns. It was a once off batch that she hand dyed. That's consists of cotton and viscose and a lurex. So it's got a little bit of a glitter in it. Everything is very overexposed today. So then I'm alternating, like in this log, you can see I'm alternating the 2 rows or 1 quarter each of just the 3 strands of merino lace, and there I'm using the Ombra. That was the name of that specific yarn. I'm using that on its own, so I'm alternating the 2. So this is my last square I'm busy with, and when I've only got finished, well, I'm busy with a 3rd one, and they've all got 9 parts. So when I finish that one, I can join them together. I've left the last log I've left on a cable, and then it's easy to just take it up from there. And for this joining color, like that, the black, I'm using it's also a lace. I'm using 2 strands of this it's a merino, 80% merino, 20% mohair, a lace yarn. I'm using 2 strands of the black together with 1 strand of one of the merino lace. So I'm using it like this. So it's also 3 strands, and that is what gives it this like a watercolor effect. I quite like that, and I think I will definitely make something again in the future with that effect. I'm also giving workshops where I explain more of how to use the yarns together. So that you can have a bit of a flow in the blanket. So that is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to give some workshops more primarily to help people to give people more ideas of how to use merino lace. A lot of people are scared of using merino lace because they say it's too thin. I will never work with one strand of merino lace. It's also, for me, it's also too thin. But if you use 2 or 3 strands together, you can really create a beautiful fabric and beautiful color washed effect. And that is what I'm trying to I don't want to say, that's why I'm struggling and thinking. I don't want to say or use the word teach. I'm not really teaching. So I'm not sure what is the correct word to use. We are just playing with yarn, and I'm showing them. I want the people or the ladies that come to my workshops, and I've also had a gentleman, and he is also making some very pretty stuff, to experience it on their own. I don't want to tell them exactly what to do. I want them to see what happens when they use strands of colors together, and what works and what doesn't work. So they come for the experience, and we play with the yarn, and I give some tips. I'm not saying that I know it all, and that what I say is that's my opinion of what I think should be done with the yarns if you want to use them together. So I'm doing tomorrow. I'm doing a small one that I've organized on my own, and in August I've got 2 workshops at a small little house shop in Pretoria, near Centurion, Yarn at Zelle. And I'm very excited to meet all the new enthusiastic attendees of the workshop. So that is my log cabin blanket that I'm really determined to finish now, because there's so many new projects I want to start, but I don't want to have too many projects on the needles or on the crochet hook. So I want to try and finish 1 or 2 projects first. That is then about that. I was asked once. I bought the tulip bamboo knitting needle set from Colors of Amalfi. And I was asked by someone to just maybe share my experience. I don't have any affiliation with Tulip. It's a friend of mine, Marieke van der Merwe. She is Colors of Amalfi, and she imports the Tulip crochet hooks and the knitting needles. And I bought this set from her. So this is what it looks like. It's just so compact and ideal when traveling. That's why I really wanted it, and especially because it's bamboo, you can take it on a plane and it won't be confiscated. So that's perfect for that reason. I've used it now for quite a few times, and I really like the bamboo. It's got a medium. It's not that sharp. I think the tip is perfect. I really like the tip, and it's very, very smooth. It's really so smooth. I really like it a lot. It doesn't have like the Knit Pro symphonies and most of the other needles, even the Chalgu, it's got a little tool that you have to tighten the knitting, the tip to the cable. This doesn't have it at all. It's got a textured part here. That you're supposed, that you can just, that helps you to grip and to unscrew it or to screw it back on. And I've never had it come loose at any stage yet. And I like the cable. It's nice and straight. It doesn't curl. It seems not to have a memory at all. So this is the cable. And there are, I think for people that have problems with their hands, I think this will be ideal knitting needles because they are very, very lightweight. And I really enjoy knitting with them. The sizes are on the needles and they haven't come off yet. So I think they will stay there. And they've got the, like, this is a 4mm, and they've got that's a number 6, so they've got the two sizes on the needle, so it's easy to quickly see which one you have to use. If a pattern calls for a number 6 or a number 8, you can quickly find the correct needle because it's got both sizes on the needles. It's got 3 cables in the set, and I think you can buy some more cables. So the other cable is a shorter one, and then there is this longer cable. And it's nice and straight. And you've used it a couple of rows. The cawl is all, there's no cawl in it anymore. So that is the tulip bamboo knitting needle set that you can get from Colors of Amalfi. I'm really enjoying my set I got. I'm not sure if I will ever use the large numbers, but you never know. Maybe one day I will find them useful. I've not, the other whip that I have, I'm not sure how far I was when I showed it to you last time. It's also the log cabin that I'm crocheting with Miss Lamotte merino singles, and I'm using 2 strands held together. Here you can see I'm using these two, this pretty green and the green with the light color with the green and the pink speckles. I'm busy with them. I'm holding them together. I've just started the new log. Because it's winter here, and we are at the sun is setting at the other side of the little kopje, and we are on this side. So it's about this time, say about 3:30, 4 o'clock. The sun is not visible anymore on this side, and then quickly after that it starts getting dark now in the winter. So this is the also a little just a baby size log cabin blanket I'm making with 2 strands of merino singles held together, and they are all from Miss Lamotte. So that was the wrong side. I can't even see because I'm using half double crochet. Both sides are almost the same. This is the wrong side, and this is the right side. I like the what I like about a half double crochet is that little ridge that is formed. It gives a little bit of texture to a blanket. I really like that. So that is all. I've got one other thing I've started. It was a mystery knit along that has just finished, and I didn't I couldn't keep up with it. I didn't even try to keep up with it. It's called Walktheblock MKal, and it's by Riza Knits on Instagram. Her full name and surname on Ravelry I won't even try to pronounce, so I will just say Riza Knits. That is her Instagram name. It is like a scarf, and it was the clues were given in 4 weeks, and the idea I think was to get you to try and walk around the block, or walk and knit. Now that is something I'm not going to try. I don't think I'm good enough at knitting to try that, and I don't particularly like walking our block in the neighborhood that I live, because of various reasons. So I've got a treadmill here. This is my little creative space, and I've also got my treadmill here, and I'll rather walk on my treadmill and watch a crafty class or a podcast or a series on Showmax, and then sit and knit afterwards. So I'm not walking while I'm knitting this. I don't think I'll be able to. But I'm still busy with the first week's clue, and I'm not finished with that. But I like what is happening here. So there's a lot of short rows. If you haven't done short rows yet, this will be a project that will definitely get you confident into short rows. So I'm using a lot of, I just went into my stash and grabbed all the balls of yarn, the cakes of yarn that was already caked. I was too lazy to and I didn't want to use new skeins if I've got quite a lot of cakes that is already wound and from previous projects. So I decided that I will just take them all and see which ones of them are going to work for this. I think it's a scarf. It's not a shawl, because it's not very wide, and there's lots of interesting things happening here. It's getting narrower and narrower, and then the shape, then it changes direction. So I'm going to start soon. I think after the wedge that I'm going to put in now, after that I'm going to change direction. So I think this is really a very interesting knit, and you will never get bored. I like projects like this as well to keep me interested. So I'm using sock white yarn from One of a Kind Yarns. I've got a lot of different colors. At the moment I'm using these two. And I've got a whole basket full. I'm not going to take them out. Here's a basket full of other, only this one is a Miss Lamotte sock white merino. The others are all from One of a Kind Yarns. So I think I will just see which ones of them are going to work, and as I go along. I'm not going to plan all the colors. I've got beautiful rich colors here. This is also a very nice beautiful color that I would like to use. And I thought maybe for fun I will, oh, this is very overexposed. It's actually more dark red. Oof. I shouldn't even show it. It looks ridiculous. And I've got like this teal green color as well. So there's a lot of pretty colors in here. And as I go along, I will decide. So that is, I think that is all that I'm busy with at the moment. That's quite enough. So I think I'm not going to show anything else. I don't think there is anything else to show. One important thing I want to tell you about is I got a gift from Lily from Wishbone Yarns. She's a very talented dyer from South Africa. She lives in Cape Town, and I've got quite a few of her yarns already, and I haven't used it that much, but it's in the near future to use them. Lily sent me 3 skeins of her beautiful yarn to give away on the podcast. But I would really like to get more subscribers. So if you can help me to get more subscribers, if you can maybe like my video, that will also give me more exposure, and maybe tell your friends about me, my podcast, and get them to subscribe. I really hope that I can get more subscribers. So when I'm at 200 subscribers, I won't be greedy and say 250. If I can get 200 subscribers, that will be absolutely wonderful. Then I will have a giveaway on my podcast for the beautiful 3 skeins of yarn that Lily of Wishbone Yarn sent me. So I'm not going to show them. I wanted to show them, but I think I'm going to show them next time. Just to keep your interest. They are beautiful, and they are absolutely my colors. I would love to have those skeins in my collection, but I will not be greedy. I'm going to put them as a giveaway, and as soon as I've got 200 subscribers, I will have a little competition on my podcast, and I will draw a winner, and then I will send you those 3 skeins. So to keep your interest, next time I will show those 3 beautiful, beautiful skeins of yarn that Lily has sent me. Thank you very much, Lily. I can't wait to have 200 subscribers so that I can have a giveaway for those 3 beautiful skeins. So if you like what you've seen today, please like my podcast video, this episode, and please subscribe if you haven't already, so that I can get more exposure. The quicker we get to 200 subscribers, the quicker that I can give those 3 skeins to one lucky winner. I'm very, very excited about that. They are here, they are in the room with me, and I hope that I can do a podcast soon again, and then I will show it to you. So that will be all for today. Thank you for watching. Bye.